Hello everyone, this is Mundan Raghavan. This video we are going to understand what is interfaces in Java. Before getting into the Java interfaces, we will generally understand about why do we need interfaces or specifications or contract. Let's consider it in a simple way. You want to stitch some shirts. Let's say for example, you need to have your shoulder size, hip size and chest size. This will be your specifications. So by using this specification, you can go to the different 3 tailors and you can ask for the normal shirt, you can ask for the sweater, or you can ask for the full and formal shirt. But however, your specification remains same. Even though you get the different objects or let's say different shirts from the 3 different tailors, you will be expecting all the tailors should follow your specifications, which are nothing but your size of shoulder size, chest size and hip size. So this will be the very basic example about the specifications. Let's say another example about contracts. Let's say in your home, you will be having the electricity supply. In India, it can be like 230 volt. So now this is the contract point, whereas the electricity power provider will be having the contract that they will be providing 230 volt to the home usage. And on the other side, there will be the different home appliances. It can be mixie, it can be grinder, it can be laptop, or it can be your tube light. It can be anything which comes under the home appliances will be abiding to your interface, which is nothing but 230 voltage. So they will manufacture in such a way that it will work on 230 volt. Obviously, they will be having the electricity power suppliers which will be converting their power into the 230 volt as per using different transformers. At the entry point about the home, they will be having 230 volt, which means that all the parties are just obeying the contract. So which makes sure that tomorrow if any new appliances comes, you can easily interchange the appliances. For example, let's say today you have some specific A brand interface, or let's say A brand mixie. You are not happy with A brand mixie, you can tomorrow change B brand mixie because both are obeying the same interface, which is nothing but 230 volt. This is the same implementation in Java as well. For example, let's say I want to have some library and I want to have basic methods to connect to the database. For example, connect, execute, and disconnect from the database. So this will be my library specifications. To be precise, I am not mentioning any implementation here. I don't have any, let's say the code actually, but these are the basic methods I need to implement the database connection. Now this specification will be given to 3 different vendors. For example, MongoDB, SQL, Oracle, you can consider any vendor. But what I'm telling is they need to implement my basic 3 methods so that whenever they give the object from their side, I will be using that object. I will be holding in my interface reference. So if you hold any object under the interface reference, which will make sure that your object has implemented all the specification that you mentioned in the interfaces. Let's say you are getting some object inside the object or inside the class, you don't have the implementation of one of or any of the methods inside your interface specification, then that object you cannot hold in your interface reference. So this is a very basic agenda about the interfaces. So more on that we will be seeing in the practical session. Just jump into the mobile interface. You can create the interface by using the interface keyword. And one interface can extend another interface so that you can have the reusability of the existing interface. However, I am not extending any other interfaces, but if you are using other interface, you can be using the keyword called extends. Same like how a class can extend another class, the same way interface can extend another interface. So coming to the interface at the core, you will be having a different variables, but however, if you start using variable inside your interface, that should be public static final, whether you mention it or not. So since it's a public static final, you need to give the initial value to the given variable because it is at the interface level, right? And the second point, you can have the different methods, but obviously inside all the, let's say all the methods inside your interface will be considered as a public abstract. So that means that obviously you don't have any implementation for the given method. It will be ends with only the colon symbol, sorry, semicolon symbol. It will not have any method body. So this will be the very basic structure of interface. Let's say I'm having here mobile interface, which means that I expect some basic functionalities of the mobile. That will be my specification. Let's consider there are two mobile phones has came to me and they told like they will implement my interface. For example, here consider just for example, Apple and Android. So if they implement my mobile interface, so obviously they need to satisfy all the methods specification which are present in the mobile interface. So that's the reason you can see call, contacts, message has been implemented by the Apple class. Even you can have other methods very specific to the Apple class. But however, if you start using the object by holding the object inside your mobile reference, then you cannot use the other methods which are very specific to the Apple class. In simple, Apple will be having an easier relationship with mobile, which means that you can hold the object of Apple class by using the Apple reference. In other words, you can hold the Apple object by using the mobile reference as well. So obviously at any point of time, you cannot create the object for the mobile or any interface, but you can use that as a reference. So here same for the Android class, even Android class implements the mobile and it has overridden all the methods which are specified as a specification inside your mobile interface. Okay, that's fine. Now we are clear. So what is interface and we have seen a class, how it implements the interface. Now coming to the mobile user. So in so many places you might have seen, if you use the interface reference, that will be considered as a loose coupling. Why? Because let's say now we have example Apple and Android phones, which implements the mobile. Tomorrow, if there is a problem with the Android, you can just switch into the, let's say the Windows phone. But Windows phone, if you have just the implementation of the mobile interface, then you can use the object. Until unless you don't mention the mobile reference here, you cannot use that. I'm coming in other way. Let's say in class mobile user, we are just consider like creating the mobile user. Obviously, the mobile user will be having the mobile. So here you have two options. One is like you can use the mobile interface as the reference to hold the object, or you can use the actual class of the mobile. For example, here you can use mobile interface followed by the variable, or you can use the Android class as the type and you can followed by the variable. So what happens if you use the direct class, for example, Android phone, or let's say Android and mobile. So here I can show it like this. Instead of doing this mobile, you can just consider Android. So what happens is here is, let's say even I will change it here. So this is one version. So what happens with one is like, let's say tomorrow there is a change or there is a disconnection between Android and your interface, or let's say your company. You don't want to use the Android mobile anywhere in your programming. So in that case, what will happen is you need to change each and every place. Even though you can think like we have only the call method, but if you go to the very specific class, you start using other methods as well, which are only specific to the Android class. Let's see. Sorry. Here you can see the special features of Google Cloud. So let's say tomorrow, if you want to change it, let's say go to the Windows phone. In Windows phone, obviously you will not have the special features of Google Cloud, which are only specific to your Android mobile. So that time you need to change in lot and lot places because it has the tight coupling between your code with the Android class. But in other words, if you start using an interface reference, tomorrow you can use any class that implements the mobile interface, no matter which class. So as of now, you can use the Apple class and Android class because it implements the mobile interface. So in line number 7, I'm just telling you can create the mobile user by using the mobile user constructor by passing any class object, but obviously it should implement the mobile interface. So that's what I meant in line number 7. So by using this method, at any time, you will not have any much changes in your code. in case if you are going to change from one class to another class. And here one more thing is like in line number 5, mobile reference will be considered like a has a relationship. So that means that it will be having the reference for other class. You can use whatever the methods you want, but it will not be loaded at once. Which means that if you have only the reference, if you don't call any method, in memory, you will not be having any other methods, or let's say the entire class will be loaded. It will be called only at the time of you are using some methods from that reference. Whereas in extend keywords, as soon as you mention one class extends another class, all the code from the parent class will be loaded into your memory. So here you can see as a relationship as well, and as a relationship by using the interface reference. Now coming back to the driver. So now we have seen the different phones which are implementing the mobile interface. Obviously, we have seen Apple and Android which implements the mobile interface. Let's create one more class, one more phone, Windows Phone, which does not implement any interface, especially mobile interface. So whether it implements or not, we are creating all the 3 phones here: Android phone, Apple phone, and Windows Phone, all 3 different objects. Now we are trying to create the mobile user. You know that mobile user has a mobile user constructor, which expects the class object, and this object, this class should implement the mobile interface, right? So here you can see I am passing the iPhone. Obviously, iPhone has the implementation of the mobile, fine. And I am passing another Android phone. Android phone is the type of Android. If you go to the Android class, you can see it implements the mobile. And if you go to the Windows Phone, it has the class of Windows Phone. If you go, there is no implementation of the mobile interface. So in that case, it will not allow you to compile the code. Here you can see the error. There are different possibilities that you can fix it, but make sure that you understand actual reason. For example, here you can consider we have the mobile user constructor by expecting a reference type of mobile interface, right? If you just convert into the Windows Phone class directly, which we discussed earlier, you can fix it. But obviously that will not make sure our intention is satisfied. Or you can tell like you have the Windows Phone. The only problem here is like it does not implement the mobile interface. If you implement that one, that will satisfy our mobile user class because it implements the mobile interface. So that will be one possible time of fixing. So now we are not doing anything because we just want to see here. It will allow only the objects having class which implemented the mobile interface. This is failing because the Windows Phone does not have the implementation of the mobile interface. Okay, fine. So we will comment this one and we will close it. So now in this point, if you call iPhone user call, so at the time of compile, it will check only in the interface. It has the, let's say the call method. And in runtime, you will be having the mobile user by using the iPhone object. So even iPhone will be having the call method. So that method will be called. You know that even in our, let's say previous sessions, we have understood once you create the object, the method call will be based on the object. So for example, here you are creating the iPhone class, the iPhone class will be called, or the method which are present in the iPhone. The same for the, let's say Android phone. Here you can see, even though if you pass it, it will be inside your mobile user, whichever the phone you are passing, for that mobile, you are calling that call method, which means that if you are passing iPhone inside the iPhone class, you will be having the call method that will be called. If you are passing the Android phone, inside the Android phone, you will be having the call method that will be called. For example, here, if you see inside the Android, you will be having call using Google Assistant. Inside the Apple, you will be having the call method call using Siri. So let's go into the driver and execute. Here you can see if you just iPhone user.call, it will be using Siri. If you are using Android phone user.call, it will be using Google Assistant to call. So this way you can clearly understand. So we can use the interfaces as the contract between any classes, any number of classes, which makes sure that all the specifications or all the abstract method that you mentioned in the interface will be implemented by your, let's say, the different classes. So how do we make sure that? By using the reference from the mobile point of view, or let's say the interface point of view, you can confirm that will be having the object. That object class should have been implemented the interface, what you have as a reference. And one more point finally, just I want to mention is like one interface, or let's say in any class, you can implement more than one interface. Unlike our classes, you can extend, if in simple, if you use the extend, it will be having only one class or one interface after the interface. Or let's say after the extends keyword, sorry. But if you use the implement, you can implement any number of interfaces. For example, here you can see dummy interface. It has only the just nothing. There is nothing inside that interface, just only the interface. If I go to the class, I can implement multiple interfaces. Here you can see dummy interface. So there will not be any issues. But however, let's say in case if you have any methods available inside your dummy interface, even those method has to be implemented inside your applet class. So that will be the scenario. So in simple, implements can use multiple interfaces. So this is all about the interfaces. So thanks for watching and have a great day.